Kambosos stops the takeover. Let's get into the video.
Welcome back to another 11th Island Immediate Reaction. I'm Brad here with Chris. Today we're going to talk about George Kambosos Jr. stopping the takeover, like Chris mentioned, defeating Teofimo Lopez, split decision, taking the WBA, WBO, IBF, and WBC franchise, plus the ring lightweight belt in the boxing world. Chris, upset of the year in boxing, maybe. What are you thinking about this?
Well, I mean, Teofimo is going to disagree, but boxing finally does one right. You know, we weren't sure going back. We were going back and forth about our scores here. There was a lot of rounds where we think Kambosos won, but Teofimo had a flurry at the end that we know sways boxing judges, and a big name and a fight down the road that we need to set up happens to just sway a lot of boxing judges, but they finally got one right. For the most part, I was shocked this was a split decision, you know. But let's go to the beginning. Now that we've laid out the decision, let's say how we got there. Brad, what were you thinking?
Before you get for the decision, I personally scored at 116 to 110, Kambosos Jr. Some people might even say that that's a little bit too much. I thought Kambosos pretty well clean swept most of those rounds, except for really the one that he got dropped in and a few spot other ones. But Chris, do you want to start at the start here? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, now that we've laid that out, let's start at the beginning. How did that tone get set for Kambosos to win this fight?
I mean, one overhand right in the first round that drops Teofimo Lopez changes this fight. Like he said in his post-fight interview, what the great Cus D'Amato has said to Muhammad Ali when he fought Joe Frazier is walk in there, hit him with the hardest straight right that you can in the first round. It will change the fight. And that is exactly what he did here. Changed the fight from the beginning, made Lopez respect the power that he has not respected in the lead up to this fight whatsoever, and no media outlet has respected either, and completely changed the element of this fight. And we saw that overhand right quite a few more times throughout the rest of it.
And there was a great drama playing out in the corners here where you had, so you have Kambosos, who to win this fight, he needs to go deep, and Lopez, who everyone's saying, okay, when is he going to knock him out? How early? And he comes out really strong. It was looking like it was going to play for the first 30 seconds of that fight. It was looking like it was playing out that way. The interesting narrative switch that happened was that after that first round, you had kind of the guy was supposed to go to the distance, his coach saying, overhand right. And then the guy that was supposed to go for the flashy early knockout, his coach saying, whoa, let's slow this down, jab. So you had the overhand right guy going jab, and you had the jab guy going overhand right. It was a great storyline from that start. And how do you think that Kambosos settled into that fight, and how did Lopez respond to Kambosos' performance in the early?
What I think it's Kambosos didn't even so much as settle in. Is he? If you listen to him in the build-up, everybody was writing him off. He was saying, "I will come in here." He's saying he wants to knock me out in the first round. I will meet him head on right away and go at it. Nobody believed him. This is exactly what he did. I don't even think he settled in. I think Teofimo Lopez had to settle into this fight, which was something nobody else expected. Kambosos Jr. looked like the more calm, composed. He was more fluid with his movements. He kind of got on that bike with the movement. He's got that real awkward herky-jerky style that Lopez had to work into the fight. Lopez had the most success in the later rounds of the fight, which for somebody that normally starts so much quicker, has so much power off the bat, nobody was expecting. So I think it's a situation where it almost flipped it, where the champion was the one having to settle down and the challenger came in the most settled.
And if you look at the kind of the arc, if we're taking Kambosos as the main character, we're looking at the arc. It's really that kind of, we start here and in the movie, and all of a sudden we have this great thing, like the guy meets the girl, whatever, he's going, and then all of a sudden there was that dip there. I mean, those late rounds, things got kind of scary for people rooting for Kambosos, this dog here. Lopez came out strong. Brad, what were you seeing from Lopez when he kind of resurged?
Well, I mean, it's the Teofimo Lopez that we expected. He carries his power. We knew that at some point during this fight, he was going to land his shots, and it was how well that Kambosos was going to take the shots. And he took it like a champ. He got up. He made the count easy. strategic move, waiting it out as long as possible. Didn't seem to be very hurt at all, even though they were nice, clean shots. And that's another thing where Lopez, Kambosos, the announcers were talking about, he's hurt. You need to swarm him and try and finish this fight right now. This is your best opportunity, knowing that you're probably down on the scorecards. And he didn't go. He kept back. Like he was a little bit hesitant, respecting the power. And that all comes back to the first round too, that first overhand right, where Lopez knows he can't swarm in, loses composure and go for the finish, because all Kambosos has to do is come over the top and change the round right back. So that really plays into it as well. And
Now,
also,
and just to keep
no, go
things
ahead.
on track, I mean, I'm wondering if is Lopez thinking that he's winning that fight on the scorecards going to those late rounds?
Well, that's what I was thinking too. That if you were to watch this back, knowing that Lopez thinks he's winning, there might be some of that where he might have changed a few of his
Hmm.
decisions. I think that's a big issue with your corner, and maybe an issue when you have a father-son trainer. I, his dad might not be seeing the fight. His dad, I'm not taking any amazing
Hmm.
trainer, is
Hmm.
taking his son to amazing levels, but you might not be seeing the fight as clear when that's your son in the ring fighting. We saw
Hmm.
that last weekend when Sean Porter's dad threw the towel in a fight that was incredibly competitive because he's not seeing things clearly when it's his son. Now, taking the fact that Teofimo Lopez is 24 years old, you're seeing your son in a fight, he's 24, things are still relatively brand new career, and you might be giving him some, you're doing better than we think. And then you get to the scorecards and it flops the other way.
Hmm.
And some people thought it was a little bit lopsided. The split decision, I think, is crazy. So that feeds into it, the drama of
And the
thinking
drama,
1-2.
and the kind of blindness that you get from the father son duo, maybe the hubris, the pride that comes. There was a year build up into this fight. Talk about quickly how that impacts both camps.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where one of the delays was Teofimo Lopez had COVID. We don't know to the extent that that affected him, especially when we know that the drop to 35 is significant for him. Versus Kambosos looked like he was walking around in the fight at 35. Like
Hmm.
he's very small, so we don't know the extent of cardio that affected. And it's a situation where one guy has got all the belts. He's flashy here in the States, going through all of those delays. The other guy's over in Australia, being the hunter, the hungry, and he's training, and he's just training all day. I'm not saying that Teofimo Lopez wasn't prepared. He put out a great performance. It was a very entertaining fight, one of the most entertaining boxing fights of the year, I would say. But it's a the longer this fight got delayed, the more it benefited Kambosos Jr. And I think in a way ended up starting to hurt Teofimo Lopez
Hmm.
for things out of his control, like getting COVID.
Well, and I mean, when you're Lopez and you're looking to the next fight, this is the means to get to the next fight. A delay is a setback, whereas to Cambosa, where this is the big fight, those are opportunities. Now, and if you're spending the same amount of time in the gym, you're going, this extra time is an opportunity versus this extra time is a setback. Totally different workout. Now, finally, what's next for both of these guys?
Well, I would say so. It was kind of teasing the ring there, where Kimbo said, "We'll do it again. We'll do it in Australia in front of 80,000 people." And
Mm.
Teofimo Lopez immediately did not, was very, I got to go back to the drawing board. To me, I think Teofimo Lopez, that was his way of saying, I'm going 140 pounds. I could barely make 35. I
Mm.
probably shouldn't have even taken this fight. I'm going 140 pounds. Even with this loss, there's a lot of things at 140. Get that fresh coat of paint. I
Mm.
think that's the right decision for Teofimo Lopez. If he wants to do the rematch, it's there. For Kambosos Jr., go right ahead. Go next weekend. Watch the Haney fight. Be front row. Get your face on screen. Get the Haney fight. You have Kambosos is the WBC franchise champion. Haney's the WBC champion. There's so much that, is it unified? Is it not? Get that out of the way. Just make that fight happen. Kambosos is going to have a good relationship with DAZN. From this fight, Haney's already with DAZN. Get that fight out of the way. Clean up the 135-pound division. And then there's so many big fights. You got Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Vasily Lomachenko's still in there. There's so many fun fights, but get one guy with all four belts. None of this, like, is he unified or not? I think that's the right decision. And I think for Teofimo Lopez's long-term career aspects, I think 140 pounds is the right decision. Get a few fights there. You're right back in the title mix.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on the night, Brad?
I I I was kind of pulling for Kambosos coming into this, and I think it was a great story. If you listen to Kambosos before this fight, he would tell anybody that would listen what he was going to do is exactly what he did, and everybody doubted him. He was 13. Teofimo Lopez was a 13-1 favorite. This is a sport of boxing, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
So it was a great night. You got anything else, Chris?
Well, I'm just going to bounce off yours and say this is the kind of thing that you watch on Saturday night. You go into work on Monday the next day with a little bit more confidence, just looking at, Kambosa, look at what he's done. I'm going to go out and do cool things too. Now, Brad, where can the people find us? What do they need to know as I start to play some outro music?
Please like, comment, and subscribe. We also have an audio podcast. Find us wherever you listen to your podcast. 11th Island. We're going to be coming out with immediate reaction. Probably about an hour for Triad Combat. MMA Weekly Show coming up this week. 500 subscriber giveaway. Check it out. And we'll see you later.
See you later, everybody. We were too early.